The box was already inside my apartment when I got home. That's what made my stomach drop. It wasn't at the door. It wasn't in the hallway. It was sitting on my kitchen table. Small. Brown. No return address. My door was locked. The windows were closed. No signs of forced entry. For a full 30 seconds, I just stood there staring at it. My first thought wasn't, call the police. It was, did I forget I ordered something? That's how denial works. It offers a smaller explanation first. I stepped closer. My name was written on the label. Not printed. Written. In handwriting I recognized immediately. Mine. Same slanted letters. Same uneven curve in the S. My throat tightened. I live alone. No one else has my handwriting. I checked the date on the label. Tomorrow's date. Not today. Tomorrow. I stepped back. This had to be a prank. A very elaborate one. I pulled out my phone and checked my delivery history. Nothing. No packages scheduled. No recent purchases. The box was light. No ticking. No sound. Just presence. My hands trembled slightly as I touched it. The cardboard was warm. Like it hadn't been sitting in a cold hallway. Like it had been handled recently. By someone. Inside my apartment. I walked to the door. Still locked. Deadbolt in place. Chain untouched. I checked the windows. Secure. No footprints on the balcony. No scratches on the glass. I turned back toward the table. The box hadn't moved. But something about it felt closer. Smaller room. Less air. I shouldn't open it. Every horror movie rule screamed in my head. But curiosity doesn't listen to logic. I tore the tape slowly. The sound was too loud in the quiet room. Inside was a smaller box. White. Perfectly sealed. And beneath it, a folded piece of paper. I unfolded it carefully. 3 words. You forgot this. My breathing became shallow. Forgot what? I lifted the white box. It was heavier than the outer one. My reflection stared faintly back at me in its glossy surface. I opened it. Inside. A key. Old. Metal. Attached to a keychain I recognized immediately. It was the one I lost 5 years ago. The night everything changed. My stomach dropped. That night. I don't talk about it. I barely think about it. A fight. A slammed door. A drive I shouldn't have taken. An accident I barely survived. I lost my house key somewhere between the argument and the hospital. I assumed it fell during the crash. They never found it. But here it was. Clean. Untouched. Placed in a box dated tomorrow. My hands began to shake violently. The folded note slipped from my fingers and landed on the floor. I bent down to pick it up. When I stood back up, the box was gone. The outer cardboard. The white inner box. Gone. Only the key remained in my hand. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. I looked at the kitchen table. Nothing. Empty. I backed toward the wall. This isn't real, I whispered. The lights flickered once. Just once. Then steadied. I looked down at the key again. It was real. Cold now. Heavy. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. Try it. My throat went dry. Try it. Try the key. But my door was already unlocked from the inside. Or was it? I walked slowly to the front door. Touched the handle. Locked. I unlocked it. Opened it slightly. The hallway outside was normal. Dimly lit. Empty. I closed the door again. Locked it. Then, slowly, inserted the old key into the lock. It fit perfectly. But something felt wrong. The resistance was different. Like turning a lock that wasn't meant for this door. I twisted it. Click. The sound echoed too loudly. The lights in my apartment went out. Total darkness. My phone screen lit up automatically. Another message. Wrong door. Cold air brushed across my face. From behind me. I turned slowly. The hallway inside my apartment was longer. Much longer. The walls stretched further than they should. And at the end, there was a door that hadn't been there before. Same color as my walls. Blending perfectly. Except for one thing. The keyhole. Exactly the same shape as the key in my hand. The message came again. You left it closed. My pulse thundered in my ears. I didn't want to know what was behind that door. But the key felt heavy. Familiar. Like something unfinished. I took a step forward. The hallway stretched further. Then snapped back. Normal length. The door still there. Waiting. Another message. You can't keep forgetting. My breath caught. Forgetting what? The accident. The argument. The missing hour between leaving the house and waking up in the hospital. I stared at the door. At the key. At the place in my memory I refused to open. My hand trembled as I lifted the key toward the lock. And I realized. Maybe the package wasn't a threat. Maybe it was a reminder. Because some doors don't appear to let something in. They appear to let something out. The key slid into the lock too easily. Like it had been waiting for me longer than I had been standing there. My fingers trembled. I hesitated. Then turned it. The click echoed down the stretched hallway. The sound didn't stop. It repeated. Again. And again. Like multiple locks releasing in sequence. The door creaked open slowly. Cold air rushed out. Not a breeze. A pull. Like the room beyond was inhaling. I stepped back instinctively. Darkness filled the doorway. Not empty darkness. Dense. Heavy. Alive with silence. My phone buzzed again. You only get one look. I swallowed hard. The memory tried to surface. The missing hour. The argument. Her voice. My sister's voice. She had been standing in the doorway when I left. You're not driving like this, she said. Angry. Worried. And I told her. I told her something cruel. Something sharp. Something I've pretended not to remember. The hallway pulsed faintly. The darkness inside the open door shifted. I took one step forward. The air felt colder with each movement. My breath became visible. Inside the room, shapes began forming. Not furniture. Not walls. A car. Twisted metal. Headlights shattered. Rain hitting the windshield violently. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just memory. It was reconstruction. I stepped inside. The door behind me closed softly. No slam. Just final. The hallway was gone. The apartment gone. I was standing in the middle of the road. Rain poured around me. The car sat crooked against the guardrail. Driver's side crushed. Passenger's side intact. The hour I erased. The part one refused to hold. I approached slowly. My legs felt weak. The driver's door hung open. Empty. The passenger door was closed. Fogged from inside. My heart pounded violently. I didn't want to look. But the phone buzzed one last time. You left before you checked. My breath caught in my throat. I walked to the passenger side. The window cleared slowly. From the inside, a hand moved against the glass. My hand. Not my sister's. Mine. Pale. Bleeding. Pressed against the window from inside the car. I stumbled back. Impossible. The driver's seat was empty. But the passenger seat was occupied. By me. The version of me from that night. Unconscious. Blood at my temple. Seatbelt tied across my chest. I stared at it in horror. I wasn't driving. I had switched seats. The argument. She had grabbed the wheel. I had tried to take it back. The rain. The spin. The crash. Memory hit like lightning. She had pulled me out. Dragged me across the wet pavement. Then gone back for something. My keys. The missing key. She went back into the car. To retrieve it. The second impact. The truck I never saw. The passenger side. Crushed. My knees buckled. I hadn't left her. She left me. The guilt I carried for years. Built on a lie I told myself. The darkness shifted again. The scene dissolved. I was back in my apartment hallway. The door still open. But inside. Nothing. Just a small empty room. Bare walls. Silent. The key in my hand grew warm. The phone screen flickered and went black permanently. No battery icon. No signal. Just dead. The door slowly closed on its own. Click. Locked. The hallway returned to normal length. The air warmed. I stood there shaking. Not from fear. From release. The part of the memory I buried wasn't about abandonment. It was about survival. She saved me. And I built guilt around it because guilt was easier than grief. The kitchen table behind me was empty. No boxes. No notes. Only the key in my hand. I walked to my front door. Inserted the old key again. This time. It turned smoothly. Naturally. Like it belonged. The lock felt lighter. I opened the door. The hallway outside was normal. Morning light beginning to seep in. Had hours passed? Minutes? I didn't know. But for the first time in 5 years, the missing hour wasn't missing anymore. And sometimes the scariest thing isn't what waits behind a door. It's what you're finally ready to remember.